If you're between 16 and 40 years old, chances are you have heard about this book. The Subtle Art of Not Giving a is a 2016 New York Times bestseller. And in under 5 minutes, we will visit the key ideas and all you need to know about the book. What is the book all about? The pursuit of happiness and how to live a good life in the modern age. It's a common sense approach for living a good life, started with personal anecdotes from the author's life. And fundamentally, it draws from philosophical traditions such as Buddhism and Stoicism. What it isn't? Even though the title suggests it, it's not a book on how to be a careless, apathetic savage. Who is the author? Manson used to be a blogger, now he's a famous author and he writes about relationships and self-development. The Subtle Art of Not Giving is a self-help book that emphasizes the importance of accepting life's inevitable suffering and focusing on solving problems to achieve true happiness. Key idea 1. Accept that life is unpleasant. Life's defined by a few universal truths that cannot be avoided. Loss and death, for example, are an essential part of life, and so are our shortcomings and limitations. We're human after all. But if we try to fight it, we will be miserable. Instead of avoidance, we should approach them honestly and with acceptance. So for example, we can accept death as a certainty of life instead of living in fear of it. The same is true with the fact that it is impossible to be right about everything all the time. Each of us will be inevitably wrong about something. Suffering exists and we all experience it. We are not alone in this and the problems are not unique. While we cannot control the pain and suffering that life will bring upon us, we can very much control how we respond to it. Key idea 2. Happiness is not the absence of pain and it cannot be achieved without suffering. The common belief that we can achieve happiness without experiencing pain is flawed. True happiness can only come from true suffering. As already said, physical and psychological pain is an inherent part of life. We are well advised to normalize pain as an unavoidable aspect of reality. The desire for more positive experience is in itself a negative experience. And paradoxically, the acceptance of one's negative experience is in itself a positive experience. Happiness can never be simply just minimizing or avoiding any kinds of pain or unpleasant things. According to Manson, the maximization of hedonic pleasures will only lead to addiction and not to true happiness. Additionally, external pleasures such as the accumulation of material wealth or social recognition through the achievement of a certain status can only provide us superficial and fleeting happiness. This pursuit for more entails the lack of satisfaction. And as we all know, the grass is always greener on the other side. There will always be something to be achieved. Key idea 3. Find meaning in suffering and solving problems. So what is true happiness now according to Manson? Well, it certainly isn't the lack of problems or an end goal that can be achieved. True happiness, he says, comes from solving problems and the reward we get from overcoming challenges. If our problems in life are unavoidable, the questions we should be asking is not how do I stop suffering, but rather why am I suffering? For what purpose? So the answer is fairly simple. Start solving problems instead of avoiding them. It's about the beauty that lies within solving them. Merely limiting the number of problems we have in our lives also limits our opportunities to overcoming them and actually experiencing happiness. The key is to find problems that are meaningful for us to be solved. True happiness occurs only when you find the problems you enjoy having and enjoy solving. I think that's the fundamental point of the book. Stop giving a f*** about the problems that do not matter to you. Calibrate your values properly to identify the problems that you like to solve and create meaning in doing so. Who should read the book? While the book is probably most relatable for Western millennials, the teachings themselves are universal and interesting for anyone looking for a new perspective on personal growth and development. Who should not read the book? Well, if you're easily put off by profanity and blunt language, then this book may not be for you. It's not a literary masterpiece. Here are a few action points from the book. Acknowledge that life is a struggle and reframe pain as an inevitable reality. Happiness is not achieved through avoiding what is unpleasant, but through overcoming unpleasant things. So stop avoiding unpleasant things in your life. Following from that, focus on solving problems and create meaning in doing so. Reflect and gain clarity about your values and choose your problems accordingly. Happiness is the product of struggling that we should embrace as an opportunity for growth and resilience. Same is true for your limitations and weaknesses. Embrace them. No one knows everything, and if you stop pretending to do so, you may learn a thing or two in the process. Growth is only possible through humility. It's far more helpful to assume that you're ignorant and don't know a whole lot. This keeps you unattached to superstitious or poorly informed beliefs and promotes a constant state of learning and growth. Okay, so let's wrap it up.
What is the book's promise?
To provide readers with a new perspective on life that helps them overcome problems and achieve true happiness.
Does it deliver on it?
Well, it certainly provides Mark Manson's perspective on life, and whether it does the magic on you, you can only find out yourself. You can find a link to the book in the description below, and make sure to also check out some of my other videos. And subscribe if you want to stay up to date.